I use sexy bananas now. I just wanted to answer probably the question I get asked the most, which is how do I cope with 5 children? Because I'm a single mom. And there's not an easy answer to that. I think, firstly, my sunny positive attitude helps. Like, I remember when I had my first son, when Rocco was born. First of all, I've got 5 children. They're aged 17, 10, 9, 7 and 3. And when I had my first son, I just remember I didn't sleep. Like, I got no sleep, and it was fucking mentally disturbing me. Like, I felt terrible, and I was so mad at him. But I remember waking up one day and thinking, I can't be mad at him. Like, he's so cute, he's so lovely. Like, I'm having Rocco, like, saved my life. And I just remember looking at him thinking, like, I didn't want to be mad at him. And so I decided to change my perspective. I started to look at it like, instead of me not getting any sleep, I decided to think about how now I get no sleep. Like, I get no sleep, and so when I get like 1 or 2 hours, I'm like, oh my god, I've got 2 hours sleep, right? As opposed to being like, oh my god, I only got 2 hours sleep. So I had to change my perspective, and that really helped, because then I'd wake up in the morning like, oh, wow, I got like 1.5 hours sleep. Like, that is amazing. And I know it sounds crazy, but your mindset like really does affect everything. Like, when I realised I was going to be raising 5 kids alone, like, obviously that wasn't what I wanted for my life. That wasn't on my to-do list. That wasn't one of my goals. But I realised that's the way it went. And I, to a certain degree, I've come to realise over the years that everything goes the way it's meant to go. And Neo, can you keep it down, please? Everything goes the way it's meant to go, whether or not you understand it at the time. And so, like, when it happened and I knew I was going to be alone, I wasn't jumping for joy, but I just decided to get on with it and make the best of the situation. And I think over the years, I've realised, like, how much everything has worked out for the best. Like, I've made a lot of decisions that I don't think if I'd been, so there's 2 different dads. And I don't think if I'd been with either of them, like, the decisions I wanted to make, I would have been able to make. I'm not entirely sure they would have supported me in those decisions, but because I'm on my own raising them, I've got to make those decisions. Like, it's all fallen to me. So I've raised them the way I want, really, like homeschooling and things like that. And that makes me happy. I always look at the positives. Like, I do have 5 children, but they also go to their dads every single weekend. So from Friday to Sunday, they're gone. Show me a mother of 5 who can say they don't have their children every weekend. Like, you can't. Like, that's not, I understand, like, that's not a regular thing. And I think that, in that sense, I'm very blessed. Like, I'm sure, I've never had that experience, but I'm sure, like, having a partner must be lovely for some people. But for quite a few people I know, their partner is not so much of a help, it's more of a burden. And I just feel like sometimes, you know what, especially with their dads, if I'd ended up with either of them, it probably would have been a case where I was having a 6th child. And I don't need that. Like, I have quite enough. Are you really trying to come and do that now? After I'm trying to tell these people how I cope with you lot, and Cal's here trying to really. Can I just make my bit? Can you just not, please? They called him the middle finger, and he thinks it's hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, a 6th child was probably not needed, and I do feel like I have ended up pulling quite a lot of long straws. Anyway, I also think, I know I have a lot of children, but because we homeschool, there are a lot of stress aspects that we don't ever experience. And I think, because the first thing people say to me is like, can't believe how much you like your children, can't believe how much, like, you will get on. But the thing is, with school, and this is why I didn't want to send them to school, because it just plays such a big role in their life. Like, the schools are essentially raising your children, right? And I think there's so much stress that comes with it. So, like, you know, scientists have proven your brain doesn't actually work till 10 a.m, yet you have to have your kids in school by 8:15, which is insane. My kids aren't even awake at 8:15. And when you're having to get kids up early and they're not waking up naturally, and they're not getting maybe enough sleep, because it's hard to get kids to bed, especially now. Like, it is 8 o'clock. Now, I would have probably had Kale in bed by now if it was winter, but it's summer, and so he's just awake. Like, he doesn't want to go to bed. The sun's out. He thinks like the daytime is still occurring, and because I don't have to wake him up in the morning and rush him out, I get to allow him to have this time. But it's hard when you've got kids that go to school, because you're rushing them into bed and then they don't want to sleep, and then when you get up in the morning, they don't want to get up. Hold on, sweetie.
Oh, you wake me up.
No, I never wake you up, darling. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I need to wake me up so you can take me downstairs.
You want me to wake you up and take you downstairs?
Yeah, and tell me my dad's coming.
We'll do that tomorrow, because it's Friday tomorrow. Can I just finish making this? I love you so much. Bless him. He never gets waken up. No, none of them get waken up. And this is the point when you're trying to wake your kids up in the morning and they're not moving. Kids are dickheads. They don't fucking listen. And the only thing they tend to listen to is you screaming like a mad person. So you're starting every day screaming like a mad person at the little humans who you really do love, but you're trying to get them in gear, ready to get to school, to adhere to this crazy timetable. And I really think like school adds just a lot of stress. Homework, the amount of my friends that stress like about homework, and they've got to build a castle and a this and a that and make this costume, and I'm like, we don't have to do any of that. Like, we don't have them stresses. Now, I'm not saying we don't have, you know, bad days or whatever. Like, honestly, the days before my period, everyone just better hide. But we don't have them kind of stresses. So that kind of thing that most people think you have with children, where they're, you're tearing your hair out and they're just all the time crazy. We don't really have that in this house. We have a very nice, relaxed life. And I really think that makes a difference. Like, we've kind of been, I don't know, tricked into not wanting to raise our children, especially in England. Like, you'll see nurseries that are saying, register your bump. Like, they want your baby. They want to raise your kids. And I just wanted to raise my kids, and I don't want to be mad at them. And I guess because of this life that we've chosen, like, I feel like our household is just happier because the children's mindsets are healthier. Obviously living with me helps, like happy gang for life and all of that. But the children that go to school, do you know, like, something like in England now, like, we've got 1 in 4 children on anti-anxiety medication. I've got 5 children and not one of them are on any fucking medication, right? And touch wood, they're all absolutely fine, but I don't think that's a coincidence. And they are all very happy. And I don't know, I see a lot of, again, a lot of my friends' children's going through stuff that they don't have to deal with. They don't have to deal with getting bullied. There's a lot of stuff that they haven't been forced into from an early age as well. Like, do you know how much sex and just shit that they get shoved at school? And I feel like school is one of them dog places, like kill or be killed kind of situations. You're either a bully or you're being bullied. Like, you're either cool or you're really fucking not. And I think for a lot of kids, they just don't fit into that cool spectrum, and school just shits on them. And if it's not the people, it's the school itself with their, you know, the goals and the exam results and all these things that just send kids like really like a little bit insane. And it's also unnecessary. All of it's unnecessary. I'm testament to the fact that all of that shit just really does nothing to you. In fact, I'm not even testament. You know, statistically speaking, most successful people have not actually finished traditional schooling or had traditional education. Like, a lot of, like, especially entrepreneurs, they didn't do the whole traditional school route. I left school at 14, haven't got a GCSE or a qualification to my name, and I think I'm better off for it, and I think these lot are better off for it. And I feel for a lot of the kids that go to school, and I feel for a lot of the parents, because they're in a position where they feel like they have to send their children to school, and a lot of them in the immediate moment do, because, you know, work is just set up like that. You know, it's childcare essentially, isn't it? Like, I understand it's not that easy to just say, hey, I'm going to homeschool, but I do think school just causes so much stress to families in general. Like, homework, don't even get me started on homework. Do you imagine if, like, I remember when Rocco, hello sweetie, Rocco would come home with homework, and I've never done homework for him ever. I refused to do it. Like, I just told school to fuck off. I was just like, do I send my son to school with, like, washing to fold or dishes to wash? No, of course I don't. So why are you sending your shit back to my house? Like, don't even get me started on that. But I just think the whole school environment is just set up to stress out your kids. And when your kids are stressed, they're just little shits. I mean, they're little shits in general anyway, but they're like extra little shits, and they're sad little shits, and it's not nice. It's really not nice. And I do think the fact that we have this happy environment and they are so happy just makes for a better life, and that makes me more able to cope, right? Anyway, I've digressed. So for those of you who ask how I cope with 5, like, I don't know, I just do. Like, I never thought I'd be on my own raising 5 children, but it was the cards I was dealt. I did always want a big family, and that's another thing I've realised. Like, I spent a lot of time thinking, like, because I wasn't with their dads, that, oh, I didn't have a family. Oh my God, I have like the best family ever. We're like the greatest family. Like, us 6, we're a fucking unit, man, and I love it. And it's not a conventional family, but I don't know, it's gone this way, and it's worked out for my best. This is my best, and I'm making the best of it. You know, sometimes life's not gonna go the way you want, but you can't sit there and cry about it. Imagine I just sat here crying every day, oh, I'm alone with 5 kids, and not just enjoying them. Like, they are also joyful as well. Like, kids bring me a lot of joy, like, and especially these lot, especially Kale as well. I know it's a bit crazy and rude, but he brings me the most joy. And I don't know, I just love them all. So for those of you who want to know how I cope, I think I cope because I secretly love it. And like I said, we don't have a lot of the normal stresses in our life. We're allowed to just be. We are human beings, not human doings, and I think that's why it works for us. Anyway, if you have got any other questions that you want me to answer, leave them in the comments. The YouTube algorithm loves it when people put things in my comments, so please feel free to do that, and I will answer as best I can. Also, just want to say this one last thing. I get a lot of people message me saying, oh my God, how do you cope with 5? I've only got 1 or 2 and I can't cope. I personally think 1 or 2 children is the worst number of children to have. Let me explain why. When you've got 1 child, that child literally only has you to look to for like entertainment and everything. And when it's just you and them 1, it's hard, especially if you're single parenting. Like, and I know a lot of single mums follow me. Like, it's just hard. It's just you and them. And sometimes when they're really little, they don't even talk. It's just fucking hard. But then when you have 2, you can have some ice cream in a minute if you're quiet for like 5 more minutes. But then when you have 2, those 2 then start fighting for your attention. They're just like beefing over who gets to be with you. But then when you have 3, they start to be together. And any more than fucking 4, quite frankly, they just look after each other. Like, Kale is here now. Like, the youngest one tends to be wrapped around you the most, I think. But he's now got to that age where he's not wrapped around me so much. He's been upstairs. I got to make half this video alone. Like, he's been upstairs with his brothers. Like, they're all playing together. I think they're arguing a bit over Apex, but they're all playing together. They're a little unit within themselves. They're a little gang, and it is just lovely. And so I don't want you to look at me and think, oh my God, like, Tamara copes so well and she's got 5. Like, I've only got 2. Like, why can't I cope? It's harder for you. Like, honestly, hats off to you guys who are doing it with 1 or 2, because I don't think that's easy. I'm telling you, after you've got like 3 or 4, they all just look after each other. And then I find like the workload's heavy. Like, I have a lot of work to do. Like, I do not stop cooking and cleaning and like washing and all that shit. But in terms of like their attention and what they need, they just don't. They literally come to talk to me when they want like some food or maybe the odd hug or something, and that is literally it. So yeah, it's a lot easier having more. I really do believe that. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I've really gone on enough, but I love you all very much. Please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, just subscribe. It really helps me. Like this video, that helps even more. Leave me a comment, like I said. I mean, that is super flipping helpful. But thank you to all of you who are already subscribed and liking and all of that jazz. And like I said, if you want to know anything, just ask me. I'm like the world's most open book. Now, here to help. Hope I can help anyway. Anyway, love you all. Thank you for watching. Mwah.